So this video is made up from a selection of days at sea, and it includes George's birthday, the maintenance continues, and there's a small competition, photographic competition. Well, I popped in 4 photos. I didn't know that they cost $10 a photo to put in. Anyway, at the end I come second and I won a $10 bear that cost me $40 with my photograph of the tram. The competition wasn't really that well organised. I only found out that I got second prize when I went to ask if they throw the photographs away or if I could have the photographs that they printed. So he went to get the photographs. He said, by the way, you come second, and here's a bear. But he didn't know who come first. I thought they would have just put a note on your cabin door. What's what? Never mind. Another experience. After dinner, we met Joe Sutton, one of the Royal Court Theatre entertainers. He's a vocalist, and he comes from Hopos, just down the road from where I live in Lichfield. And here's my attempt to try and look gormless. I hope I've succeeded. There's always plenty to do on the ship. A little bit of the string quartet, and the girls are from the Ukraine. And then there was a music quiz with DJ Lily. Following the string quartet and music quiz, I popped into the Churchill Lounge to see Sheldon. I was looking after a couple of guys there. He's from South Africa, and he also leaves the ship shortly. Very nice guy, very helpful.
I'm your DJ, and I'm going to be testing your knowledge. It's all about music. So I do have a total of 20 different tracks from, it's a little bit of everything, so different decades, different genres. And we are looking for the song title and the artist. So that is 2 separate points. And now, because I'm feeling generous and everything counts, if there is more than 2 singers, of course, more than 1 singer, you'll get a point for each singer, okay? If it's in that song. So are we okay with that? Fantastic. With that being said, we can get started. Hey, now we can get started. Here is track number 1.
When I was young, my father said, son, I have something to say. And what he told me I'll never forget until.
And he said to me, listen, you want me to go fetch you on the airport? And I said to him, no, I'm only arriving in Cape Town in 10 days' time. I never let people pick me up. Me, pronto, I'll just get there and I make my way very quick home.
Sheldon, the best waiter in Churchill's Lounge.
I think so. Oh my God, what? Change the bank or
You have to go home and
Nice
get
ice water.
strong.
yeah, or the gym.
Tonic warms it up on the glass. Really
Thank
good.
you.
He's a good lad. From South Africa.
Correct.
Yeah.
Bridge, and the time has just gone 12 o'clock noon. Very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is your Captain Asim Hashmi speaking from the bridge for a nearly noon navigational brief on Monday, 30th of January. I hope you all enjoyed a relaxing evening as we continue on our passage towards the Persian Gulf, and we awoke this morning in the Gulf of Oman, having rounded the easternmost point of Oman shortly after midnight and passed the capital, Muscat, at 7 o'clock this morning. If you've been out and about on deck this morning, no doubt you've seen a lot of merchant shipping around, as the Strait of Hormuz ahead of us is one of the busiest shipping lanes in the world, with oil tankers carrying approximately 17 million barrels of oil each day through this narrow stretch of water, and that's around 25% of the world's total consumption. We are currently steering a northwesterly course of 310 degrees off the coast of the United Arab Emirates on our port left-hand side. And in just over 1 hour from now, we will alter course to the north and directly to the Straits of Hormuz, which is the entrance to the Persian Gulf. The Straits of Hormuz is actually 27 miles across, with Oman on the port side to the west and Iran on the starboard side to the east. And for navigation safety reasons, all shipping has to use a two-way special traffic separation lane, which is only 5 miles wide. We will enter the Strait of Hormuz traffic lane at around 4:30 p.m. this afternoon, rounding the northernmost point of Oman, and then enter the Persian Gulf and set courses directly thereafter for Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates. And the distance sailed since departing Salalah is now just over 750 nautical miles at an average speed of 20 knots, and we still have 310 miles to go to Abu Dhabi. Our present position is latitude 24 degrees and 57 minutes north, and longitude 57 degrees and 16 minutes east. And geographically, that places Queen Mary to some 60 nautical miles east of Fujairah in the United Arab Emirates of our port bow, and 55 nautical miles from the Iranian coast on our starboard or right-hand side. And for information, the depth of the Gulf of Oman at present is around 1,200 meters, or just over 3,800 feet. And now for the weather, if you've been out and about on deck, quite pleasant today, and partly cloudy skies with a gentle easterly breeze at 8 knots, which is Beaufort Force 3, resulting in a beautiful calm sea state. And outside air temperature today, 22 Celsius, which is 72 degrees Fahrenheit. Tomorrow morning we plan to approach the port of Abu Dhabi and pick up our harbour pilot at 5:15, and it is then a 12-mile transit in a buoyed channel to the port itself, and we should be berthed shortly after 7 o'clock. The weather forecast for our port of Abu Dhabi tomorrow is for a clear sunny day, and with temperatures expected to reach a high of 27 Celsius, which is 80 degrees Fahrenheit. So please, if you're going out and about, do ensure that you have appropriate sun protection, and please do remain hydrated. The all on board time tomorrow is 6 p.m. So all on board by 6 p.m. and shortly we'll sail after to Dubai. In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of the navigational brief for today.
And for those interested, the depth of water beneath us is around 60 metres, so relatively shallow in this area. Well, very nice to see His Majesty's ship Spey this morning out there on our starboard side, albeit was somewhat early in the day. I do apologise if I woke anybody up this morning with my announcement. The commanding officer there, Commander Proudman, has sent me some excellent photos taken from his seaboat. I'd love to be able to sell them to you through the Photoshop on board, but not owning the copyright, that would be somewhat cheeky. I have just put them on channel 45. That's the map display channel 45 towards the end of the sequence. So if you want to see some of the photos taken this morning, they are there to see on channel 45. Also, Commander Proudman did just ask me to mention that HMS Spray is on social media. For those of you using social media on Twitter in particular, their username is at HMS_Spey. That's Spey spelt S-P-E-Y. So on Twitter at HMS_Spey, and you can keep up to date with all their movements on their deployments, all that they get up to, and I'm sure most likely they will post those pictures taken of us this morning.
And these are the photographs from His Majesty's warship. I've taken these images from the TV, so they're not perfect, but it gives you an idea of what they could see when they've taken photographs of us. I'm not too good with selfies, especially when the sun is shining in my eyes. Makes me look even more miserable than normal, and yet this is my happy face. Next we go into the port presentation, hosted by Ruth, who does all of them for all of the ports that we go to. Always very informative.
Chi Minh City was destined for greater things. So by the 18th century, the city then named Saigon had become the provincial capital of the Nguyen dynasty. However, in the second half of the 19th century, control over the city then passed to the French and Saigon became the capital. This was a period of lots of infrastructural and architectural development during which Saigon earned the title of the Paris of the Orient. And many buildings of this era are in good condition even today. By the 1950s, the French had gone, Saigon grew rapidly, encompassing many more of the villages and the districts. And in 1954, the city was then proclaimed the capital of South Vietnam. And from 1959 to 1975 is when the terrible Vietnam War, of course, took place, which was fought between the US and the communist North Vietnam, supported by its communist allies. So this whole sorry affair ended in April 1975 when the communist forces captured the city and North Vietnam took over Saigon and then renamed it Ho Chi Minh City. So for now we'll move on from the past. We're going to focus on what the country and the area has to offer for visitors today. So we've seen it's entered a period of modernisation. It's constantly evolving and reinventing itself. It's populated by about 5 million people and it's become a hub for manufacturing, entertainment and cuisine in Vietnam. So you'll find there's a lot of upscale restaurants and cafes offering all kind of international delicacies. And more of these places are opening every day. You've got your bars, your clubs, your discos, so it has a very thriving nightlife as well. But existing alongside all of these new high-rise hotels and the shopping malls and the restaurants, it is also still possible to go there and find the ancient side of the city, the pagodas, the colonial buildings that tell the story of the city's checkered yet vibrant past. It's a city that is very much full of friendly faces. It's crowded, it has a lot of people in the streets, lots of motorbikes, and former Saigon has very much retained a lot of its old charm. And I'd say it's one of the highlights really of this part of the world. So it's a place where you can really go and immerse yourselves in a city that's full of life, full of colourful sights and sounds. So if you are wanting to go there and explore independently, then the districts of Dong Khoi and Koh Lon are small enough for you to explore them on foot. However, the most common mode of transport that local people tend to take here is the motorbike taxi, because these are really, really cheap and they take no time at all to navigate in amongst the city traffic. So they're obviously okay if you want to just jump on, if you're on your own and you want to get from A to B. But as a tourist, I would probably say that your best bet is to just take a regular taxi. They are metered here, you just pay whatever shows up on the meter. They do also have these traditional pedicabs. These are a great fun way to get around if you want to feel a little bit more of the atmosphere of the city. And they'll weave their way through the little back streets in a typical Vietnamese style. Generally are accepted in more of the touristic destinations. So to give you a rough idea, one British pound is about 28,500 Vietnamese dong, and one US dollar is about 23,500 dong. So it's not the easiest currency to get your head around, but generally things are pretty good value from Vietnam. So the best place to start your sightseeing in the city is a place called Dong Khoi. This is the main cultural hub of the city. This is where you're going to find
spoken to a couple of the crew, including the chefs and security officers. Here's a little bit of the comedian who is on tonight. His name is Ivor Richards.
Theatre. Please welcome to the stage the King of the One-Liners, Ivor Richards.
This is the illuminations room where they got 4 projectors, so they can project into the ceiling, especially when they're doing information on outer space, stars, the universe. Just come to the Laurent Perrier Lounge in preparation to meet George for his 84th birthday. So we're going to have a bottle of champagne and some nice chocolates. Another nice grim photograph of me. Must get the hang of these selfies. Good God. Oh, and this is the auspicious occasion of Dr. George's 80th
Happy birthday, sir.
78th birthday.
Thank you. 84 and counting.
84 and counting, yeah. Yeah. And Jackie and Paul are here, and Joe. And Mary, hidden behind the bottle. Yeah, she's here,
You
yeah.
want to see me try to get up?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well done, George. That's the fastest you've got up since you've been here on the ship.
Well, these are
Yeah.
cool glasses.
So, get ready for the birthday toast.
Thank you, Jeff.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And Joanne,
Yeah.
and Jackie, and
Yeah.
everybody involved.
Yeah. I had to pay them $50 each to come. They said, we don't want to bother. We can't be bothered. So we'd rather have an afternoon sleep.
That was discounted rates.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you can open the chocolates, Joe.
I love that colour on you.
Mm.
What color is it? It has a name.
Future. Mm.
I know. Yep.
Have to undo it, I think, with the. Okay, and thanks to you, my friend the waiter. What's your name?
John.
John.
Yes.
Oh, that's simple. All the other names, some are very complicated, some are easy.
Yes.
John, the champagne one. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, John.
When we buy a bottle of red wine, you can hardly fill 4 glasses. 4 wine glasses. This is a very bottomless.
Yeah.
It's bottomless. Long life.
Really good years ago.
So, thank you.
Would you like me to take your photo?
Yeah, hang on, I'll stop. Yeah. Oh.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, dear George.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
You should all work in a choir. Singers and dancers.
We can't take credit for that.